know what's commonly said now? You know what something that's commonly said now? You'll hear a lot of times people that will say, no, I'm not religious, but I'm spiritual. I'm spiritual, but I'm not religious. Genuinely, I always say a lot of things genuinely because genuine people will say the same thing and fake people will too. So genuinely speaking, I understand what that means. More than over half my life, anybody I was growing up with up to the age I am now, religion was, your belief in God. So you didn't hesitate back then when we were younger to say, yeah, I'm a Christian. Well, what's your religion? I'm a Christian. I'm Southern Baptist. We were Southern and Baptist church, and that was the sign on the front anyway. So yeah, I'm Baptist, Southern Baptist. I believe in God. I believe in His Son. And now, more or less, people will say they're spiritual but not religious. Primarily why? Because of all the bad flack the religion got. The dirty preachers, the crooked churches, the money laundering or the money theft or, the molestations. It wasn't a bad rap for the church. It was bad people in the church doing these things in a religion that you was walking around claiming. Like Seth claiming with a dude that's crooked or false flagging or snitching. You disassociate yourself with religion because of that person or those people and the things they did. Not that I have a problem with that. Like I said, genuinely speaking, I understand it exactly the way it's intended. You don't want to be associated with anything that puts that scar or that mark on you. You know what I mean? Your relationship with God, you don't believe has been tarnished at all. But to go to a building where somebody's accusing the head and the elders of that building to doing crooked things or to do, immoral things, you like, yeah, I've just been off of it. Or I ain't been to church in a while, you know what I'm saying, since that preacher, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? And it's bad because saying that you were religious or claiming more your religion still did something for you as a person. There was still certain things that you would be corrected in doing because, as a Christian, I don't do that. As Christians, we don't do that. You know what I mean? And it made you a better person, whether you want to admit it or not. You don't even have to fully give the credit to the religion. It's your belief in the religion because of the words that were written that are recited every week by the head of that religion in church. So you shouldn't just throw it away like that because if you were better as a result, some of y'all need to go back to being religious. Being spiritual is like a loophole out of religion and some of the things that the religion was teaching you, or at least the things that you were going there to hear on Sundays. See, that pastor or that reverend, he spoke in a way that made you feel compelled to do the things that he was telling you to do, which are basically the things in the Bible, things you could read yourself, but it don't come across without some of the antics, some of the gyrations, some of that energy, Then you're in a room full of people that believe, so now the belief is going around, and it's just as strong as the presence seems to be, and you don't want to mess that up because you like that. Why do I feel this way? Why do I feel so compelled when I'm in this house hearing this man say these things and everybody else seems to agree also? Why? How come so? It's like reading the words of a play without the setting. I stare upon this tree, but there's no tree. But that's what it says, but I don't see a tree. I gaze into a starry night. There's no night, there's no stars. You're just standing on stage reading these words and people are just looking at you. But when you put it all together with all of the theater and the theatrics of it all, it's like I am in the presence of what I'm being told. And to be here is how I get that. So it's easier for me to do what it is you're telling me to do and not do the things you're telling me not to do and believe in the things I'm supposed to believe, that you're telling me I should believe in. But some of you were not hoping, not waiting, not wanting. But when it came to where there were all these negative things that came up in the religion or in churches, Baptist, Catholic, whatever, and all these things hit headlines and made newspapers and, all these people's faces who were just people, that's all they ever were. But the way you looked at them made them seem more than that, bigger than that. And here they are making moral mistakes that you and I would make, but not him. You get a bad taste in your mouth about religion now. So it almost kind of gives you the go ahead, if you hear everything I'm saying together, it's all right to be human. It's all right to just fuck up. It's all right to say fuck. It's all right to do this. It's all right to do that. The church right up the street has a pastor down there got caught with a pint of gin. You got a case of gin in your house right now. But you didn't think he would have the one pint they caught him with. It gave you the okay to be you. And you really did not need that. Your relationship with God is just that. It's just that. It shouldn't lay on anybody else to affect that. You know what I mean? So it shouldn't have been a get out of jail free card when you were never locked up. You didn't have to do that. You didn't have to pull that. So even if you stray from the religion, you should still desire, thirst, and want that relationship with God that this guy was preaching to you about having just as much so, if not more so. Without his instruction, would you be less likely to do it? Would you care less? Would you want less? I don't know. You shouldn't though. That man, his faith, if his faith has been tested more than yours, he's going to have a better story to tell you. If his faith has been tested, if he's gone through some struggles, if he had a disease that he overcame and a divorce that almost killed him and an accident that, made him reevaluate life, if all these things happened to this man, he became a preacher and he got in front of everybody on the pulpit, he can tell you some stories to make you start thinking about the fact that you stubbed your toe and got a paper cut yesterday. That reverend there, he was talking to me. That pastor last night he got to me. His faith has been tested. He's been through more. He has more to tell you about being delivered from than you've encountered in life thus far. That's not a trick. That's the truth. He's the preacher. You're simply in the church, and you're overwhelmed by the fact that his faith has brought him where he is, and he's telling it to you, and here you are. What? One of the great bishops of the world, Bishop Don Magic Juan, preached the church for 12 years. If he could tell a broad to go get him money in the snow and bring it back to him, and she not ask for none of it, I think he could probably get you to put a little bit in the collection plate. It's his way of saying what he's saying, the things that he's done and is doing, and the way he expresses it verbally. Nobody's talking. He's got the mic. He's in front of everybody. He's wearing one of the coldest outfits you've ever seen in the way of a robe, and his hair is flawless. Yeah, you got my attention, buddy. What you about to say? You running for something? You go? No, I'm the pastor of this church, and I want to tell you about the Lord. Really? All eyes, all ears, forward. Listen to this. This should be good. It's how you say what you say. If your faith has been tested in a certain way, you have nothing but the devotion to express to others and tell your story. That may get more people in the seats. That may get more money in the collection plate. That may get more attendees. That may get Saturday and Sunday. You might even get a Wednesday going if you're doing it right. But genuinely, you have to be there to make sure God is in the forefront of their minds and hearts the way it is yours. That's the obligation the pastor has. I ain't going to talk about if he drink or not, if he smoke or not. That ain't got nothing to do with it. But if you don't look the part, it's going to be kind of hard for you to play the part in front of everybody. Because everybody else is out there doing it. They put the obligation on the pastor to get them right. That ain't his job. That ain't his job. That's why some people are not religious, but they're spiritual. God lives within them. They're allowed to make mistakes. Some of you should have probably stuck with religion.